Hey, yo, EJ, you're a clown. All right, good evening, everybody. Um, yeah, good evening is definitely still a pleasure to be with everybody here on the Good Night Show. I wanted to today. It was definitely my plan to talk about um the disparity between WNBA and the NBA players, but of course, other things have happened in my life, and I definitely want to kind of share with you all just that process so far, right? It's so funny. EJ is a clown. Just talking about, I knew you were Trump out here. Just show that real quick. But my cousin called me Lil Trump. He's a clown as well. But I just wanted to say, first off, let me on a serious note, let me just say, I am definitely thankful for everybody's prayers. I am thankful for your love and support. I let a lot of people know yesterday when I originally found out, and so I was able to kind of connect with a lot of people as it relates to that. And so a lot of people have been reaching out to me and giving me advice on what to do and all that type of stuff, and I really appreciate it so far. I was just kind of detailing my little story here. So, a few days ago, I started experiencing symptoms. So, I want to say it was like Monday. I just had like this persistent cough, but it wasn't like, just like, um, if you know my whole story with this COVID thing, which I'm going to kind of try to detail tonight. I've been nervous about COVID or having COVID throughout the entire process. So one of the biggest things was that my mom died from COVID, my aunt died from COVID. And so when I was like just kind of, every time I thought about like getting COVID, it's been like more anxiety. So like a few weeks ago, I had a cough, my head was hurting. I was like, oh man, I finally got it. And then, just like in April when it was like going crazy, and I had not been around anybody. I was sitting in the house, and this was the time where my aunt was going to the hospital, my mom was in the hospital, all of my cousins were real sick. And so just like going to sleep. I remember one night I was like going to sleep and I woke up like in the middle of the night, like, and I thought I had shortness of breath, and I'm like, yo, this is most definitely anxiety. This is like me going crazy for real. And so, of course, like I'll tell you all, like, don't be afraid because this stuff, like, it can really make you, oh man, it can make you go crazy. And so, like, I've always thought that. So, of course, this time I'm like, well, maybe I don't got it. I'm gonna go get tested again, but it was something crazy because I never had a fever. Like I've never had a fever. So I'm like, you know what? It's a good chance that I might have it. And so back to detailing my story um on Monday, I had this cough, and then it was so funny and so stupid to me. Like one of my kids was like in the car with me, and he was trying to like roll down the window and stuff. I'm like, man, why are you being so extra, bro? It's a cough, like It was like, nah, I still gotta roll it down. And it was just like I was like getting mad at him, like, stop being extra. But it's like so true. And he put his mask on too. Thank God he good. So far he good. And then Monday night, I had a fever, and that's when I kind of knew like I got to go get tested in the morning. And so to this day, the biggest issues have been like me having a high fever, like sometimes like 102. It's been high as like 102. We got my Simply Orange right here, just to drink, keep myself fluid. I've not lost taste or smell, so praise God for that. And I've been able to eat. I've been eating good. I had some salmon from the Jamaican place today. So we've been eating like a champion over here, still eating like a champion. And so, that's good. And so I want to address a few things. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions and stuff because as I stated before, and I was telling folks, like I'm around a lot of people, and being around a lot of people, it has like, you have ramifications for that. And one of the things I've made clear is like, me, I ain't gonna call myself Trump or nothing, but I've always like, there was something a lady told me at church when COVID first happened. And I remember one of the things that she said was, I was like, because I met her at the church. I'm like, you're not supposed to be out because you're high risk. And she was like, and her high risk is like she has like stage 4 cancer, but she been going strong. Like she ain't had, it's like she ain't even got stage 4 cancer for real because she had it like 8 years ago. She got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. But I remember she told me something that stuck with me throughout this process. And she was like, what God has for you is for you. So let me tell y'all something. Like, don't be like shook up and like you can't do this, you can't do that. Of course, be cautious. Of course, wear your mask. I'm a big component of masks now, but wear your mask. But again, what God has for you is for you. That's what she told me, and I respect that for sure. Because, like, honestly, a lot of people that they've got nervous, and people are getting it. And as is stated, like the cases are going up, so you kind of need to be even more cautious now about what you're doing. And so one of the things that I have done over this time is that I've continued to do my mentor program throughout this COVID process, not since I got diagnosed with COVID, but I'm saying I've continued to do it throughout since it began because, of course, like a lot of kids be on the streets, a lot of kids like do a lot of dumb stuff. And so we've been trying to like give them a place to go. And so, a lot of people have been like questioning, like, you shouldn't be doing that. And I always try to explain to people, like, like these young people always need a place to go, and if not, they'll find other things to do. So we've been trying to do that in a safe, responsible way. And most of the kids that come to our program, they come consistently. So it's not like we get a group of kids, it's a different group of kids. Like most of the kids that come to the program, they come out on a consistent basis, maybe 3 times out the week. And so we have definitely notified all their parents and notified them, like, you should get tested if you've been around me in the last few weeks or so. But that brings me to like just this whole story. Like COVID has been devastating for me and my family. People like, man, you should really be more. You should definitely be more serious because COVID has been it's been really devastating for your family and stuff like that. And like I go back to my original statement, like what God has for me is for me. And I'm not saying that I'm Teflon and all that type of stuff. But what I am saying is that I'm appreciative that God has blessed me so far and that things have not went as crazy, as it can be. Now, of course, you don't know how this goes. So far, like I said, my symptoms have been mild. So far, I've only had a fever. And if anybody got any suggestions for the fever, let me know because it has been serious. Like that fever, like I've not been able to sleep and a headache. I should say a headache too. So like last night, it was like really hard to sleep because like I was so hot and cold, kept going back and forth. So anybody got any suggestions for the fever, let me know for sure. I've taken Tylenol, I've taken vitamin C, I've done that type of stuff. The Tylenol does not seem like it has worked. And then today, so I had to go to the doctor today. So I tested positive yesterday at the urgent care. I got some ginger stuff from the Jamaican guy today too. It was more sweet. I don't know if it was the good stuff to get, but I did get some ginger stuff. But today, so I'm calling the doctor like, hey, I got COVID. And then so the lady tells me, we need you to come in. I'm like, you want me to come in? I got COVID. Like, what you gonna do? And of course, she's silly for real. Like, so she gonna tell me, yeah, we need you to come in. We need to check your breathing and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, I'm good. I just told you what my symptoms are. So clearly they did not alert everybody else. So I came in there and I remember I was sitting in the room. I had to sit in the room for a long time. I was like really mad at that. Like I'm a really impatient guy if you know me at all. So I had to sit in the room a long time. And then so the lady come in there and she's like, so what brings you in? So clearly they have not told people that I had COVID. I'm thinking they've already told people. See, this is how it's spreading. This is dumb, right? This is like really dumb. So anyhow, I get there and so the lady asked me like, what brings you in? I'm like, yeah, I tested positive for COVID. It's a black lady, of course. She turned around like, what? And her mask wasn't all the way up. She had to pull her mask up. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. I said, yeah, I thought they would have told you by now, and I think that's kind of ridiculous. Like, if somebody got COVID, why do I still have to come in? And then overall, I think it's also that's kind of ridiculous, like that you came that like, and she came in there and asked me the same silly questions, and she didn't do anything for real. Well, they did draw some blood, so I guess they couldn't do that from the crib, But she didn't do anything else for real, and gave me some medicine that she subscribed some medicine that was basically over the counter medicine. She subscribed Tylenol, which I brought yesterday, and then so I get to the pharmacy, and they're like, "Yeah, why do you have like all your medicines over the counter?" So I'm in there looking like a plumb fool. Lady asking me, "Well, what's your med?" I'm like, "Didn't she tell you the type of medicine I was getting?" So I look silly, like I just left. I just said, you know what, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna leave about here. I don't want to. But I think that was just a whole ridiculous process. So if you ever get it, think you got it, just try to make sure that you convince your doctor to do the virtual. Then the next one, she's like, "Oh yeah, we can do a virtual for the next one." I said, "Yeah, we should probably did it for this one too. You made me come out the crib for no reason, really. You really made a fool out of me, But we're gonna let that one go. But so over than that, I came back to the crib, and it's just really, really cold. So I'm hoping I get over that quick, and I'm hoping that the symptoms do not worsen, but it has been cold. So if y'all know, I see some people, they said some things about the fever. Somebody said, do contrast showers for fever, my friend COVID. Yeah, and do we also need to do what's the Trump said take? Hydrochloric, whatever that's called. Bless his heart. We need some of that, all the stuff he had for real to get me back and running, because I got to be back. I cannot be sitting down for too long. It's for me. I got ADHD, so I cannot really sit down for a long time. My boy said use bleach. Oh yeah, inject some bleach and tacos. So we dealing with some clowns right now. I do got some of that. I feel like I got some of that. I got, and that's the craziest thing. Like I definitely keep. Y'all can't see it. I definitely keep some disinfectant wipes. Now the craziest thing though. So what y'all need to know about me is that I'm actually a pretty clean person. So even before, if you talk to the people that I used to work with, if you talk to like some of the people that I worked with before at my job, anytime somebody came in my office and coughed, and this was even way before COVID, I would spray my office down with Lysol for like 5 minutes. I don't care what it was. I'm like, nah, I'm not getting sick. I hate getting sick. I hate being down. So, and I always kept Clorox disinfectant wipes. So the craziest thing, even though I've ordered some more Clorox disinfectant wipes since this whole pandemic has started, do you know that I've already had like a crazy supply of Clorox wipes? I've already had a crazy supply of Lysol, so I didn't really have to buy none. But of course, like this guy said on the video. I remember when this pandemic first started, this guy was like, he was mad at the news station. He's like, it's you guys' fault that everybody's down here at the store all early and creating all this panic. And the guy's like, "You're here too, sir." He's like, "I'm here fighting the panic. I got to come down here and make sure they don't run out of stuff on me." So it's funny, like that whole issue. So yeah, and somebody said, see, the issue is the older and vulnerable individuals with the young people. I agree. Like, there's definitely a lot of people that are vulnerable to this pandemic. And that's why we definitely alert everybody about the situation, and I think like it goes back to the original conversation, working at a school and working into different, environments. It's kind of crazy because you don't know what to do. Like you don't know how to address, everything. And it can't be, let's go back and stay in the house all your life. You feel me? We got to get out there and try to do better. You feel me? So I'm definitely not, one of those people, but I do agree. You need to definitely be more careful when you're out there on these streets. I would be definitely. And so a few things I will leave you with is like, so one of the things that I thought about, like, the beginning of COVID, I was just listening to a song, and I'm a good preacher, good bishop, not self-proclaimed, but Call me Bishop if you need to. You feel me? We always got a word in our hearts for you. But one of the things, like, I was listening to a song and I wanted to play this song for y'all. It was a really good song. It kind of made me emotional thinking about like what we've been through, because you know, as I detail, like just talking about 2020, 2020 has been a year. Can somebody say like what? Like we rebuke the devil in the name of Jesus? Like 2020 has been a year for us. And and so one of the things that I remember just starting this year off and just seeing, like, for me, it has been um well, for me personally, the original devastating, this was enough for the whole year, was Kobe Bryant, right? That was enough for the entire year. Come on, somebody. Like, literally, that's been enough. And then, the craziest part after that, I don't even really detail a lot of stuff that happens. I mean, I detail a lot of stuff, but not totally a lot of stuff that happened in my life. But, when Kobe Bryant died, a few weeks later, one of my mentees, one of my like original mentees, like when I was at in Birmingham, this kid, he was I loved being around him when I was in Birmingham. He was like so crazy, and like we always used to get into it because like he was crazy, I'm always crazy, but like he was a cool, great kid, and then he died in a motorcycle accident. And then I had surgery on my appendix. Like my appendix had to get removed, and I was in the hospital and I was sick. And what made me even more sick about that entire situation was that I had to watch Kobe Bryant's funeral, in the hospital room, which like I couldn't even pay attention. I was all out of it, drugged up. And then the worst part about it was I couldn't attend. It was my whole goal to attend my mentee Brandon's funeral, and it was in Birmingham, Alabama. And, his mom texted me. She was like, one of your first mentees, like I know he was one of your first mentees. I just wanted to let you know he died. And it was just like, it just kind of broke my heart, seeing that. And then, moving on to the pandemic, and nobody, like, and I tell people, like, people always be like, you've been through a crazy experience, and praise God, like God has definitely protected me and kept me throughout this time. But, going through that whole experience with like seeing your mom, and I always tell people, like, me and my mom had a complicated relationship, but like just losing your mom and like knowing that you'll never be able to have that conversation again. And then my aunt, and one of the people that I talked to when I was in the hospital, like real sick, one of the people I called, and actually I was crying on the phone, was with my aunt. Like, and she was talking to me, like, if you know my aunt, like my aunt is hilarious. She's like, boy, if you don't cut all that out, like, what's wrong with you? Like, nobody like, what you down there acting a fool for? Like, that must be the medicine, like, so. But she definitely, like, she's hilarious, and she definitely can make a German chocolate cake. My God, Hollywood, like, my goodness, like, I always remember, like even last Thanksgiving, I was like about to have a childish fit, like, because I thought my family with their greedy selves had ate up all the German chocolate cake. And then of course she had some on the side for me. Praise God for that. So I was able to experience that good chocolate cake, that German chocolate cake. But it was been crazy because like that whole experience, was just wild. And then if you know anything about my family, like the Petaway family, we're huge. We're always around each other. We're always with each other. Like we always go on Ford Street in Highland Park, and we always there. And so like to not be able to be around each other during this like craziest time, 2020 has been wild. And then fast forward a few months later, and one of the things in the future I'm gonna do, like one of my kids, who like his brother got killed last year, he ended up getting shot in a car, and like even now, like he's been progressing. But like I just have to, like, if you heard his story, it was just so like crazy. Like, and I'm gonna wait to another podcast to really like share his entire story. But like, going to the hospital and like yeah, y'all are greedy, Lawanda and Tasha, y'all are greedy. But like going to the hospital and seeing like what had happened, where 4 people had got shot and he was one of them. That was like a really painful experience too. But thank God he survived. And I definitely, he's been going through the recovery process, and I definitely want to bring him on just to kind of talk about that. No, I have not lost my smell and taste. Pray that I do not lose my smell and taste. We got the good Simply Orange right here as well. Going strong with that. But so that kid, so I'm definitely going to detail his story more often in a future podcast. And then, of course, like one of the guys who run our program, Caught Up. So Caught Up is in 3 different programs. Majority of Caught Up is ran by me, right? I hate that. I really need more. I really need to release some of that stuff, like, and give other people opportunities. But of course, if y'all know me, like, I got to be a part of everything. But one of the programs that I have not had to run is our Project Reentry program. And Project Reentry is like one of our programs where we work with incarcerated juveniles. So we go to the center. We go there every Sunday. We work with them. We teach them and help them transition back into the community. And so the guy who was over that was DeAndre. And, he was like a really like great person. He organized all of it. He got all the people to come. All I literally would have to do is come in, do a presentation, and I really didn't have to come back for the next 8 weeks. I would just pop in, but I knew the program was running well. And he got killed about 2 or 3 months ago. And the craziest thing was, it was painful because it was such a shock, because not only was he like an up and coming Detroit person, like where he was going to be like some elected official in Detroit, but he just cared about his community, cared about everything about it. And so like I told you all, like, so this is like 2020 has just been a crazy, crazy year. And so to top it off with finally, as y'all know how I've been the entire year. Like, I ain't letting y'all stop me. I've been traveling. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to Memphis twice. We went to Tennessee, to Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. We did a lot of stuff, and like God has protected us through that, and we're very appreciative of it. But then so happened, before you know it, like COVID came knocking at my door. So we praying for a speedy recovery. So anybody got any questions for me before we end the live? Any questions? And also, if you have any, I wanted to play this song for y'all. Sorry. This song, it had me tearing up today, but y'all need to listen to it. It's called, hold on, let me see. Share screen. Let me see here. Listen to the song real quick. I'll play a little bit of it. It's a good song. Let me know if y'all can hear it. I'll answer the questions in a minute.
I am free to sing of your love. The highest, glory to God.
All right, they silly, Brittany and Jason. No, I'm not tearing up, but this has been emotional. I love that song. I listen to that song all day. So it says, how long do you have to quarantine? So one of the so the doctor, so I went and got the test yesterday, and they told me a few things. So it's definitely different than like the 14 days and all that type of stuff. She said go without symptoms for 3 days, come back and get retested, and you'll kind of go from there, right? So go without symptoms for 3 days. So that has not started yet. Hey, we need to do a whole podcast on this too. Like, yeah, you do not have to put I do not own the rights. Y'all be looking silly when y'all do that. bless your heart, praise it. But overall, like, yeah, so what was I about to say? Yeah, so you have to quarantine for the amount of time that you have symptoms for at least 3 days after you go back. She said get a test, and then you'll kind of go from there. So yeah. So if you have been around me in the last, I believe, week or two, however far you want to go back, you would need to get a test. You would definitely need to get a test. I've told everybody that's been around me, I've definitely made contact with all their parents and all the kids, let them know that they should definitely try to get tested if they could, and be very careful if they experience any symptoms or stuff like that. Like, just be very careful. Overall, we do have a little good night show business to take care of. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, The Good Night Show on YouTube. We got some controversy to deal with very soon. We got a lot of drama going on in the church, and it must be dealt with. It has to be addressed, okay? And I, for one, will need to address that. So if you got any good sources, let me know, because there is some drama that we must bring to the table. Okay? So we will detail that very soon. About the drama that's going on in the SDA church out there in California. It is stretched all the way down to Tennessee and things like that. So please be sure for that. You have not called me. I don't even know who that is. I've called every parent that has been around. So I've texted and connected with every parent. So I don't know who. But we are not able to discuss this drama right now. But we will be able to. We will bring this to the forefront because there is some drama that is going on in the church. Okay, and we need to detail this. We are dealing with public figures, and we need to detail that. We got a whole flyer situation. We have a Jason says he haven't heard. Jason is a liar. But we definitely need to figure out what is happening as relates to the good church, the good saints. We've had a lot of resignations and people being fired. So people have asked me not to discuss it, and I've went back and forth on this topic whether I would discuss it or not. Honestly, I was pulling y'all leg at first, like, let me discuss it. And then I thought about it like, oh, we definitely have. Yes. Oh, so yeah, Nigel. I've talked to Nigel and his mom. So I don't know where that's coming from. I both spoke with his mom and Nigel. And he didn't go to school for that very reason today. So, so we do need to discuss that. We definitely need to discuss that for sure, about the entire situation. Yes. So you just found out on Facebook and we talked on. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, we haven't been around. So I don't know what you mean by that. I've not been around you in like 2 weeks. So I don't, you wouldn't have heard from me if I didn't hear from you. If I haven't, I talked to people that were immediate to me that were around me within the last week or two. But of course, I'm around a lot of people, and that's one of the reasons why I put it on Facebook. It's because I am around a lot of people, and I cannot remember everybody I'm around. Okay, I'm around everybody, a lot of different people every day. So church people as well. I went to church, different things like that. So like, I don't understand. So all right, but with that being said, we only have a minute left. Bless your heart, people. We definitely need to have a conversation. So if you have any information that you need to shoot to me, we do need to verify the information. So we just can't be putting anything out there because, we are not gossipers. We don't gossip, okay? So we definitely need to make sure that we put this information out there in a very respectful way. But the good saints do deserve to know that there has been some drama down there in the there has been drama down in California. There's been some drama in Tennessee, and we need to get everybody on the show, if y'all know anybody, to talk about the entanglements, okay? Because there's been a lot of entanglements. All right, now I'm just playing. I mean, I'm not playing, but I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to discuss that for real. But I do think that does deserve a good discussion about the entire situation. And so, of course, we are very respectful of the people's families and what they're going through. And so we definitely are going to be respectful if we do touch this topic at all. But, I do think that it would be it would do us a lot of justice to have a conversation, because there's been a lot going on. And, even just about the way the conference are moving around pastors and stuff like that. But for everybody, we can't get into all the details. We'll catch back up with you on Friday at 9 p.m. I'll let you know if we do that. Pray to God that I'm not in worse condition, but just definitely keep me in your prayers. If you wanna send some snacks or something, I'm all for snacks. I'm all for a good little allegedly. That's right, buddy. Allegedly, I'm all for snacks. I love salmon. So some good salmon and some rice. I just had this Jamaican salmon today. It was good. That brother know how to season that rice. My goodness. So always love that. What else? Yeah. But we're over our 30 minutes. Thank you all for joining on the Good Night Show. Bless your heart. We'll catch you soon.